Good morning, you guys. It's kaaelynnae. I'm just gonna be showing you guys what a day in the life looks like for me. Um, Businesswoman. I'm a businesswoman. So I decided to record today because it's really during the week, and I really only like to record stuff that's specific about makeup or fashion stuff like that. But I decided I'm gonna just do a little bit about what my day's looking like. It's Monday, child. It's the beginning of the week, so I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes for me. So keep watching, okay? Yeah, my voice is a little hoarse right now. I don't know why, but whatever. I actually have a Zoom interview in like the next 20 minutes. So that's like the first thing I'm up to today. I actually have two interviews today. One is Zoom and one is in person. So I'm about to get that together. And as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be going to my job interviews. So I'm going to be showing y'all what I do on my job interview and how I make myself the best candidate. So you can use this for yourself if you're looking for a job or if you're in the hiring process at the moment. So I wear glasses to all of my interviews. And then the next time, by the time they hire me, I won't be having no type of glasses on. Hey! Violet, you can't do this. I like to put you outside the sun. For real. Ain't no bad talk. It's quiet. Ain't no bad talk. Quiet. Ain't no bad talk. Why I look naked right now? I'm gonna low-key record the interview because why not? And I'm gonna take y'all with me so y'all can get it. So I can let you girlies know. Show y'all how to book a job. Show you how to book a job. Because one thing is about it, I'm gonna look professional on Zoom, okay? Tell me I'm not. You better hire me. You better hire me. You better hire me, child. Okay, couple tips for when you're on an interview is one, make sure that you review the job description. The last thing you want to do is go to an interview and you don't even know what you're on the interview for. Make sure you have all the basics, how much the pay is, how much, what exactly the interview is preparing for. And sometimes jobs will have preliminary interviews. And a preliminary interview is just basically they want to get to know who you are. They want to get to know like your background. They're not really heavily asking you questions, or it's just like not a big deal. It's usually a 10 to 15 minute phone call. Okay, I wanted to give y'all a quick story time about a preliminary interview that I had. Like I said, it is a 10 to 15 minute phone call. So basically, with this call, all they do is ask a couple questions just so that they can know you're good enough to even interview. So, and it's same vice versa. It saves you, the candidate, and the company a lot of time. So the interviewer asked me all these questions, and everyone was like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to do that, I'm willing to do that. It's usually are you willing to do this. We get to the end of the phone call, and her last question is, okay, are you willing to relocate to Dubai? I said, excuse me? She said, yeah, this position will require you to permanently relocate to Dubai. And I was like, yeah, no, I am not willing to do that. But that was not in their job description. But how much time did we both save by me saying, no, I'm not willing to relocate, than me going on a full interview, first round and second round, and getting hired, then finding out I have to relocate. So sometimes it's little things like that is why preliminary interviews are not something you should worry about. It's something that lets you know if you even really want that position. And then a real interview can be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And in those interviews, you want to make sure you come with questions, come with notes, get ready to take notes, know a lot of facts about the that specific company, so that when you do ask follow-up questions, you're asking questions based on already knowing information. For example, I went on an interview a couple days ago. So when they ask you a question like, what is something that you want to get better at, they asked me this question. I said, I know you guys are using blank 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 system, and I don't have as much experience in this system, so I would like to learn more about that system. They didn't tell you in the interview which system they use, but you bringing it up it lets them know that you've done research on the company. So keep like a good 3 good facts. I would say even just two small facts that you have on them, so that when you're ready to ask them a question or you're ready to answer a question, you can use those facts within your answer and in your question to let them know that you are a candidate that's fully interested in them and the company, and not just for a little check, honey. Yes, child. So my interview finna go. Make sure you sign into your interviews early if it's on Zoom. Don't wait till the last minute, boo-boo, because that is a bad impression. You want to set good impressions. I would say. Hello.
Hi, Joy. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. Thanks for the time. What I wanted to do is give you a little background and then ask you a few questions.
For Zoom meetings, you want to make sure that you're in the meetings first. As of course, also you want to give your interviewer a big smile and occasional head nods to let them know that you're engaged. Be confident. Just act like you know what you're doing, even if you don't.
Start by reviewing the PDF that I sent as an attachment to the meeting invite.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to share my screen.
Okay, so this interview was very presentation based. So when you have an interview like this, make sure you are taking notes, because they're going to be giving a lot of info. And you also want to make sure that you have a follow-up question as soon as the presentation is over, so that they know that you're listening. Yeah. Yeah, one question. So when it comes to the like the fourth row, that process where we are doing our part, we can't really start this part until the vendor has finished their application, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So you may if I'm the vendor, you may send me the invite, and I may not do anything for a couple of weeks.
Also, remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I know that sounds very cliche, but always ask questions. If you don't have any questions at the end of the presentation, ask clarifying questions, even questions you already know the answer to. That way, you let the interviewer know that you are still engaged into what they're talking about.
Me understand what you're asking for here. So there's the support, like customer service role in here, and then.
Okay, so this interview was very thorough, very brief. There was a lot of information that I was getting at one time. That's why my face probably looks very bored. In cases like this, you still want to make sure you ask a question, even if they've given you all the information you possibly need. That way they know that you are still listening to them. Now, if they answer your question during the presentation, state that as well. I'm going to give an example right now.
Anything else on this?
I think you just answered my second question. I was asking about during that part of the process, we do do our best to stay in contact with them to make sure that that part of the application is filled out. But yeah, you answered my question there.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm gonna stop sharing this screen.
For this interview, after the interviewer went over the presentation, towards the end of the interview is where they directed his questions towards me and my experience and how I would fit well for the job. So when you prepare for the position, when you look at the job description, you compare that to things you've done in the past, and you keep those bullet points for when you start to talk about yourself. A lot of this is one area that I struggle with, but this is also what I've done to help. What I would do is I would point out the job description that matches the new job the best. So they're like, they ask me a question, I say, okay, if you look on such and such job description job on my resume, that relates to this because I did something similar to this in this way. I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't sound confusing. But that's what I like to do to make it easier to talk about myself and what I've done. Compare apples to apples, what I've done in the past to what they're asking me to do, and give an example or a story on how I did that. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of example of how the second half of the interview went.
Etc. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so as a trainer, most of what I did was basically train them on the marketing systems and on like their customer service with working with our customers, making sure that they knew how to run our applications, our system, as well as speaking with the customers directly. Also, just making sure all of their materials were, I was like responsible for their specific like inventory and things like that. And if they had any questions, I was like the middle between me and the managers when it came to like pay or anything, any type of questions they had. Be prepared to answer all of your interviewers' questions because you already asked them a lot of questions, so now it's their turn. And then when it's time for you to ask questions again, make sure you have some more questions. Also, do not be intimidated when you forget your question or you lose your track of mind. I do that very often. I say a lot, but just remember it's very human to make mistakes. So do not be intimidated by that when you're in an interview. Uh, yes, I just lost it. I did have a question though. Okay, so you did say it's gonna. Oh, yes, I did have a question. So for the team, do you know around how big of the team that will be for us, like the specialists that'll be coming in to work on this project?
Yeah, my thinking right now is 6 total.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good number. Because again, the number of vendors to onboard is...
At this point of the interview, it already feels like I have the job because your interview should feel more like a business meeting instead of an interrogation. I'm asking him questions, he's asking me questions. It feels like we're collectively trying to find the reach a common goal. So he's telling me his ideas for the new candidates coming in, and I'm asking questions to challenge what those ideas are. But it is very it feels like a regular business meeting, and that's how the interview should feel, and that's kind of how you know you have the job.
We'll have 6 who can stay through the duration, and we'll just get faster, more efficient. Okay, good. Well, it was really good talking to you. Appreciate the time. And like I said,
at the closing, make sure you smile and be confident no matter what.
Up with you.
Okay. Thank you. It was nice talking to you,
Okay.
Paul.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Anyway, y'all, that's how that interview went. Y'all saw how that went down or whatever. They're gonna call me back. I'm gonna get hired. But now I feel like I got like 3 jobs I have to start by Monday, and it's like, which one am I gonna choose? Anyway, so this second interview, y'all, I'm gonna explain that to y'all later. For now, I'm gonna go get ready so I could go home. Peace. I was even recording today. But anyway, I'm on my way to my house right now. I'm gonna do my hair real quick and get dressed and then run out so I can make it to my next interview. I got Violet in the back acting like a crazy. So tell me why I left my makeup in the car. So I'm gonna do that in the car. I'm gonna put on my shirt and stuff though and show y'all my outfit. My work outfit. Okay, y'all, I gotta close out this video because it's gonna be too long now. The last thing I need is for y'all to be watching an hour-long video. If y'all want to know how this interview went, stay tuned for part 2. Thank y'all. Business buddy.